Miners, and welcome back. I got a fun one this week. We are going well off the radar and well deep into the history of the Legacy format. We are playing Food Chain Combo. Now, this is an old style archetype from way back in the day using Food Chain and Mist Hollow to be able to generate infinite mana. You do that because Food Chain lets you exile a creature, you create mana of any color equal to the mana value of the creature you exiled plus one. The one catch is you can only spend this mana on creature spells. Mist Hollow allows you to be able to cast it from exile. So basically, you exile a Mist Hollow to Food Chain, you get 5 blue mana, cast Mist Hollow from exile, you are now up 1 mana. You can repeat this loop infinitely to create infinite mana. The way this deck used to win was using all of that mana to be able to cast like an Emrakul, a Walking Ballista, some big mana creature to be able to finish the game on the spot. With Modern Horizons 3 and all the crazy energy cards that got introduced to it, we got a new toy that is much easier to use and has a lot of versatility to be able to be a finisher. We get Unstable Amulet. It's a 2 mana artifact that when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Whenever you cast a card from anywhere other than your hand, it deals 1 damage to your opponent. So getting that on the battlefield and then executing the Food Chain combo results in infinite damage to your opponent. It also allows you to be able to tap it, pay 2 energy, exile the top card of your library. You can cast that card until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. Nice little backup form of card advantage. So it's a finisher that also has other purposes and helps increase the consistency of this deck. To go with the energy sub-theme of the Unstable Amulet, we also have Galvanic Discharge as a nice little removal spell. We can bank energy if we don't need to exile the top of our library to be able to take out relatively big threats that something like a Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt can't take care of. Got Tune the Narrative to act as a energy source and to be able to draw cards. And we also have Amped Raptor, which you get energy when it enters the battlefield, and then you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You can then cast that card paying energy equal to its mana value rather than mana for it. So it allows you to get card advantage, and if you have an Unstable Amulet on the battlefield, it also creates damage in the process. To round this out, we've got a nice little kind of tempo card advantage shell to go with it. We have Questing Druid, which Seek the Beast puts cards into exile. You can cast them, results in more damage with Unstable Amulet. Then you get a creature off of it as well. Brazen Borrower is a removal spell that does the same kind of thing. You bounce something, it goes into exile, then when you cast it, you can deal damage with the Unstable Amulet, and you have a 3-1 beater. You've got Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, as a late-game, grindy card advantage engine there, and just a backup way to just win the game. A 6-6 is a lot for a lot of decks to be able to deal with. And then you got Icefang Coatl as card advantage, surprise blocker, and we do have enough snowlands in the deck to be able to turn on the Death Touch. We also have Tamiyo Inquisitive Student to kind of act as a pseudo card advantage, wall a lot of the little like energy strategies, small creatures, stuff like that. And with the amount of card draw we have in this deck between Coatl, Tune the Narrative, Brainstorms, flipping it is really easy. And if we can ultimate it, then we're probably just going to win the game on the spot because we're going to draw half of our deck. And then you got a full playset of Force of Wills to be able to protect your combo. It's also kind of nice because you can pitch Mist Hollow to Force of Will to already get it in exile to start the Food Chain combo. Mana base, pretty typical teamer mana base, a little heavier on basics to be able to turn on Icefang Coatl because we needed the snow land type. And then just 2 Surveil lands, 1 Hedge Maze, 1 Thundering Falls, and then a bunch of duels and fetches. This deck is a little weak to Wasteland, even though it is a little heavier on basics than a lot of 3-color decks are, because this deck is very color hungry. There's a lot of double color pip spells in this deck, so it is something to watch out for if you're playing this deck. In the sideboard, we basically just got a bunch of tools for various matchups. You've got Consigned to Memories, Null Rod, Force of Vigor for the colorless and artifact decks that are running around, Pyroblast, Carpet of Flowers for the blue decks, Veil of Summer for black-based decks, also really good in blue to force your spells through. Ghost Vacuum and Endurance to take care of the graveyard decks that are running around, and then just an extra Brazen Borrower if you need more removal, if you just want another creature because you think you're going to beat your opponent down. So let's see if we can take this really old-school deck that's gotten a ton of new toys from Modern Horizons 3 through a league, see how it does, see if we can pop off the combo. I'll catch you all in the wrap-up. All right, here we go. Round 1 the die roll. Let's see if we can pop off here. And we've actually got a pretty good starting hand. We have removal, we have Amped Raptor, we have half of the combo, and if we draw a Mist Hollow we have a free pitch to Force of Will. So I think we're going to go ahead and keep this. Start off on a Misty, probably go grab a Hedge Maze, depending on what the opponent does, if I don't have to Galvanic Discharge their turn 1 play. We'll see how this goes. Oh, we're doing this, are we? So this is Oops All Spells. We're dead. Either that or it's Belcher, but if they're doing this on turn 1, we're just dead. We're going to see what their deck is before we concede. Okay, it is Oops. We will let them do their thing, and then we will scoop before they can do anything else, just so we can see what's going on in the deck, to see if there's any kind of weird juke we need to worry about. Unfortunately, we just didn't have a blue card for this Force of Will, or this probably wouldn't have mattered. Is this a version that has Jack-o'-lantern? It does not look like it. It's got Reanimates. Pact of Negation, Thassa's Oracle. Okay. So, it's not a version with Jack-o'-lantern. I didn't see a Memories Journey in here either. Okay. Well, the good news is we know what they're doing. They don't know what we're doing. Bring in all the Graveyard Hate and consign to Memories. We can probably take out all of our removal, since it's not realistically going to matter here. Do something like that. Bring Ghost Vacuum, consign to Memory to stop a Thassa's Oracle trigger, and Endurance. And then just take out the removal suite, basically, and try something like that. Okay, let's see if we can just not die on turn 1 this time around. Yeah, we keep this. We have multiple layers of Graveyard Hate. Well, we have Graveyard Hate and we have a Force of Will, so I actually like this quite a bit. We will lead off on Valk, play Ghost Vacuum, and we can hold up Force of Will. Alright, play out our Valk, play our Ghost Vacuum, pass the turn. See what they think our Graveyard Hate suite is, to see what they bring in. Are they going to go for the fair... No, they're not. Okay. So they think they have a way through this. Do I want to... Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and Force of Will this. See if they've got the Pact of Negation to force it through. And the answer is no. So we bought ourselves some time. I should have eaten some out of the graveyard, but I don't think it particularly matters. So there's something to be said about playing Unstable Amulet or just holding up Questing Druid. And I think Questing Druid is probably our better shot at this point. Our opponent doesn't have a go for it yet. This time we will actually eat a card out of the graveyard. And we will cast Seek the Beast. Questing Druid, a land, and another Questing Druid. We draw Tune the Narrative. I don't hate that. Do we want to lose what we have to be able to set up green mana, or do we want to just play the land because we're probably not casting anything green this turn anyways? Okay, our opponent just scooped up the game anyways, so on to game number 3. We were able to stop them that time. We are 100% going to need one or more Force of Wills, though, going into game 3, so we're just going to run it back and hope we can pass the force check. So we've got Consign to Memory. They kept 7, though, so that means they're probably going to go for a turn 1, so I think we need a Force of Will. Okay, we have double... This is a super risky hand. Do not keep this under normal circumstances. I am keeping this purely because it's got double force, double blue card. And we're going to hope that we draw lands. I am going to go ahead and put Uro back for now. And we're just going to hope that we draw lands and that double force, double blue cards is enough to stop our opponent from being able to win. Opponent is going to cast a Xantid Swarm. We are going to go ahead and counter that. And his opponent is going for it. The question is, they've only got one card in hand. Yeah, we're going to do this, and we're going to hope that we can get there before they do. We do need lands, but as long as we can draw lands, we're actually in really good shape here. Land. No. Okay. So they're going to get a chance to rebuild, but they've only got one card, and they don't have card draw. Again, under normal circumstances, absolutely do not keep an O-lander. But luckily, they don't have a lot of card draw or anything in their deck, so we should have time to be able to find a land, hopefully, if we're not just going to keep doing this. Come on, deck! Okay, I mean, at least if we hit a land, we can drop Ghost Vacuum, and we have another layer of defense. 10 cards into the deck. Do we hit a land? Yes, we finally hit a land. Play our Taiga, play our Ghost Vacuum. We actually have something to do now. And opponent scoops it up. Okay, again, do not do that under normal circumstances. Again, do not do that. I only kept it because it was double force, double blue card, and knowing what we were up against. But the zero lander paid off. Already on the board. On to the next one. Alright, win the die roll. Let's see what we got here. This is a little wonky. The fact that I can go get a surveil land makes me a little more inclined to keep this. So I think we're going to. And we've got a good chunk of what we need here. We just need another land, and this hand is really able to do stuff. So we're going to go ahead and lead off on the Misty. Go get our Thundering Falls on our opponent's end step. So just play out the Misty, pass the turn. Opponent apparently likes our play style and is also doing the same thing of Misty Pass. If they're on Stifle Knot and they stifle this, they got us hard. Okay, they're not stifling us yet. Go grab our Thundering Falls. We probably look like Sneak and Show at this point. So we're going to go ahead and go grab a Trop with this. And we're going to slam an Unstable Amulet now and plan on probably playing Amped Raptor next turn. This resolves. Theoretically, this can also give us a Force of Will if we need to use it, if the top of our deck happens to be a Force of Will. So I like that it gives us a little bit of card advantage here. Opponent did not fetch. We might have a Reader. This is not a common card that you see. Opponent plays a Polluted Delta, cracks it. Okay, some kind of Dark Ritual deck. Is this Doomsday? This could be Doomsday. This could be Storm. Okay, it is Doomsday. They could start their pile and go off from here. So, no, we hit a land. That doesn't really do anything for us here, unfortunately. It does guarantee a land drop next turn. So if they do an incomplete Doomsday pile, like if they do a pass into an incomplete Doomsday pile, then we might be able to pull it off. If they have the cantrip to start the pile now, though, we're just dead. Okay, let's study this pile here for a second. Multiple Lion's Eye Diamonds. Okay, so this is Doomsday Storm, since it has a Past in Flames. And did they set up a pile to be able to go off now? Possibly? It looks like yes. If this is a cantrip, they can just go off now and we're dead. But it looks like it's Turbo Doomsday Storm? Dark Petition, that's spicy. Okay, so this is definitely interesting. Mind's Desire. Okay, so this is a different version of Doomsday Storm than I'm used to seeing. Alright, they cast Brainstorm without popping Lion's Eye Diamond in response. So that's interesting. Oh, our opponent misclicked. Ooh, that's rough. I'm sorry, opponent. I've done that before. They meant to hold priority before casting the Brainstorm. Alright, I'm gonna be nice to the opponent. I've fucking done this before, too, so I'm gonna give it to him. Alright, I'm gonna give it to the opponent. He laid out the line, or they laid out the line to me, to prove that they had the win there and they just forgot to hold priority, and they're shooting me a picture of their hand. So, I'll give it to you. I've done that before. It's absolutely rough. So, we'll just give them this one. I'm in a good mood, so I'll eat the loss there. That being said, what do we want to bring in? This is more of an actual Storm deck than a true Doomsday deck. So let's bring in Consigns, bring in Veil of Summer, probably bring in Null Rod. We saw Past in Flames, so there's something to be said about bringing in Endurance. They're not going to have creatures, so we can go ahead and remove the removal suite here. And let's drop one Tamiyo. I don't think we're going to need it. And try something like that. Alright, yeah. Opponent didn't understand that it meant sent me, like, reveal hand on screen. They were going to send me, like, a picture from their phone or whatever. But like I said, I'm in a good mood. I'll just give it to them. I've fallen prey to the forgetting to hold priority before, too. So I'm feeling nice today. That being said, this hand we will absolutely keep. We have Amped Raptor, Force of Will, and Food Chain. I think we're going to go ahead and just start out with a Scalding Tarn. Alright, start out with a Scalding Tarn. Opponent kept on 7 as well. We're probably going to go grab a Thundering Falls. We might grab Hedge Maze, but I feel like we got more important red things in our hand, even though we have 3 ways to get red, that I'd rather go grab the Thundering Falls to start, and then we can try to control the game until we can go grab our green source that we would need. So we'll see. Alright, opponent's gonna Thoughtseize. I think we will go ahead and surveil before making a decision if we want to just let this resolve or not. Okay, we got another food chain coming. We're going to keep that on top and we're going to let this resolve. They might take the food chain thinking they can work around the Force of Will, and then we have a backup food chain. They might also just take the Ampharaptor because it's the only thing that presents a clock in this hand. Okay, they took a Force of Will, so they're more concerned about the counter. Alright, so I didn't need the redundant food chain. I'm hoping they don't have another turn 2. They might, but let's go grab our Trop now, cast Ampharaptor, and hope that we hit something good off of it. Yeah, we can cast Attune the Narrative. That might draw us a new blue card. It does not. It draws us a land. So let's see if the opponent has another turn 2. So far not, but I mean, they can go off of a Dark Ritual, so... opponent did not shuffle off of the Ponder, but they are shuffling with their fetch land, so they liked one of the cards they had. Okay, just gonna Thoughtseize me again. I'm assuming that means the Force of Will goes away. Because there's no point in grabbing a food chain since I have a redundant one. Another land. I'm not a fan of that. We're flooding out a little bit here, but luckily our opponent hasn't tried to go off yet. We don't need to cast the food chain yet, so we're just going to go ahead and hold up the Scalding Tarn, probably go get our, whatchamacallit here, the Hedge Maze, to try to set up our next hand, or our next draw if we get another turn here. They have been doing a ton of damage to themselves, though. Alright, opponent seems to be passing, or they're just trying to see if we're F6, one or the other. Okay, opponent is just passing. We are going to go ahead and grab our Hedge Maze to set up our next draw. I don't hate Unstable Amulet. I think we're going to grab that. We will get in an attack. Unstable Amulet could find us a card to be able to cast, such as a Consign to Memory or a Veil. Opponent might also just be stuck on lands, potentially. And luckily we have a decent amount of energy banked up that we can actually do this a few times. Alright, again, are they checking to see if we're F6'd or are they actually passing the turn? Alright, passing the turn, we're going to go ahead and do our Unstable Amulet thing. Another land. We are kind of flooding out here. Okay, I don't hate Questing Druid. It's just a question of, do I want to cast it now or later? Let's get in an attack. And I think next turn we might try to play one of these food chains. I don't have another Surveil land. I'm probably going to go get a Volcanic Island with this, because I have access to 3 additional cards this turn cycle between Questing Druid and Unstable Amulet. His opponent's still just passing. What do they have that they are willing to pass for? Well, I can't wait until cleanup step, so we're going to do this. Okay, Consign to Memory is nice. I like that. And apparently opponents saw the Consign to Memory and decided they couldn't get through that. So we go on to a game 3. I don't honestly think we want to change anything. I think we just run it back. Knowing our opponent can go off on turn 1, this is kind of scary, because we're literally not doing anything until turn 2 at the earliest if we even live that long. So I think we got to ship that one. Okay, this we can keep. Let's put back the Volcanic Island for now. We have a Force of Will, and we have lands, and we have a lot of card draw. So I don't hate this hand at all. I think, again, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and Misty, go grab Thundering Falls on turn 1. And then turn 2, we probably play the Ampharaptor. There's something to be said about maybe just holding up Questing Druid for turn 2, but I need to get onto the battlefield pretty quickly and start pressuring them. Alright, we're getting action. Brainstorm, okay. Shuffling their Brainstorm with their Polluted Delta. Black mana. Into a Thoughtseize. I mean, they're gonna take the Force of Will. So let's do the same thing again, where we kind of just see what we're going to draw before we decide whether or not we want to force this. Chances are we're probably just going to let it go, because they're going to take the Force of Will. Okay, yeah, and with Veil of Summer on top, we'll let this happen. Because they're going to take the Force of Will. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, took the Force. That's fine. And this also allows me to be able to hold up the Veil of Summer and Questing Druid at the same time. So I don't have to do anything on this turn. I still have action. It's not just time walking me. And if they just don't do anything at all, I could also just go grab a Surveil land. But I think I'm going to go ahead and cast Questing Druid, the Seek the Beast side, to give me more options to be able to do stuff. There's something you said about maybe holding on to it until later, but it'd be nice to have the selection from this for later. Okay, they're doing something here. What is this? Cabal Ritual. Is this going to be a Pass in Flames line? Dark Petition. They don't have blue mana, so it's not going to be a whatchamacallit style line here. Like, I didn't see Thassa's Oracle before, so they actually probably don't even have it. So I'm guessing this is either an Infernal Tutor or a Past in Flames. It is Past in Flames. Okay. See if they've got some way to win through a Veil of Summer. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. Grab our Trop. I would love to hit a Force of Will off of this Veil. We hit an Amped Raptor. Okay. So they can Dark Petition again. But, like I said, I didn't see a Thassa's Oracle. So I'm not sure if they have a way to go off with it. Okay, there's the Dark Petition. I probably should have studied their deck a little bit closer. Okay, they're just going to Mind's Desire for a bunch. Okay. And there's nothing I can do, so I'll just F6 through the turn here. Do they have a way to loop this together into a win, is the question. Okay. I suppose if there's a Burning Wish line into a Grape Shot, that's something that could happen too. But I don't remember if I saw Burning Wish's main deck or not. They do have red mana, so Grape Shot is very much a possibility. Alright, there's the Doomsday. So do they have the Thassa's Oracle? Like I said, I don't remember if the main deck had one or not. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I mean, if they're playing Doomsday, I assume they have to. But you never know. They're picking Past in Flames. That is bizarre. Okay. I'm curious what... Yeah, I'm really curious what this Doomsday pile is going to be if they're grabbing a Past in Flames. Okay, let's take a second to look at this deck real quick. Hull Breacher, that's interesting. So if there is a Thassa's Oracle, it's a one of, and they did put it in their pile. Yeah, this is definitely something weird. I don't know why they took Past in Flames. Unless they think they have some way to be able to win next turn with a Past in Flames line. Because they are going to have all the freaking mana in the world. Or they were... I am so confused. Why did you do that in end step? I'm mildly confused. Color me confused. We can play a Scalding Tarn, and then I guess we just hold up Questing Druid, Seek the Beast, and hope that we can hit some kind of counterspell, and see what happens. Like, I'm very confused what this line is. Unless they're just making a slow pile. Shadow the Prophecy, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types. Put 2 of them in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. You lose 2 life. Okay. So this basically digs them down 3 cards. They go to 1. And then they have the mana to be able to do a Thassa's Oracle. Black mana. Okay, I see what they were doing now. They were setting up to try to be able to... whatchamacallit here, but do they have enough spells? That's my question, is do they have enough spells to be able to do this? Because this is going to be 2, 3. This isn't enough spells to kill me, though. That being said, we're just going to do this now, because I think if we can counter this, they literally just can't win. Into an Endurance and a Veil of Summer. I can cast this. I can actually wait. I will let this start to do its thing. Like, I'm just very confused what this is doing, because this isn't enough spells to be able to kill me from 18. This can try to buy them some time, but they've only got one card left. So I'm very confused. But this was a fantastic hit. Alright, they're gonna Thoughtseize now. We're going to Veil. Can you pay alternative costs from the graveyard? No, because their flashback is equal to their mana cost. So, we drew a 2 in the narrative, which is fine. And we have a way to pitch cast this Endurance. So I'm not super sure what their way out of this is. Like, this is a super cool take on Doomsday Storm. Like, this is super, super cool. Like, if you catch this opponent, this deck is sweet. So are they just doing this for the sake of trying to be able to do it again? I'm very confused. Like, there's just not enough cards, unless there still is a Thassa's Oracle in the deck. Like, if that's their backup, okay, I guess I get it. But they also don't have a way to turbo through. Like, they can put Shadow Prophecy on top, but that's not going to turbo through the deck. Okay, I am very confused about what's going on here, unless that last card was in fact a Thassa's Oracle. I'm not super sure what their plan here is. Another Ice Fang Coatl. Well, let's start out by playing a land. I'm trying to think if there's anything that Amped Raptor could hit here that would actually win us the game, and I don't think there is. Unless we hit specifically Unstable Amulet. So I think we're going to go ahead and cast an Ice Fang Coatl to start. See what we draw. A land. So there is a world where I can get another Ice Fang Coatl, or I can try to tune the narrative to draw a card. It's kind of one and the same. So I think we're going to go ahead and pass. Because unfortunately this is both of our Veil of Summers back in the deck already. So our best bet here is going to be draw Force of Will. Okay, so we took it down. Opponent was kind enough to tell me what the plan was. Apparently what happens is you use Doomsday to keep resetting your library, and the Past in Flames to keep casting it from your graveyard, and you basically just keep going through the loop to be able to keep casting Tendrils multiple times out of the graveyard. So that is a super cool deck. If you catch this video, opponent, thanks for the games. That was super cool. Good luck with it. On to the next one. Okay, racking up those die rolls. Let's go. Yeah, this is a turn 2 flipped Tamiyo, so I think we're going to give it a shot here. And we've got Food Chain on turn 3. I guess we're going to see if they have removal for this Tamiyo. We're going to see if they have removal for this Tamiyo, I guess. Alright, wasn't worth the Force of Will. And this makes it look like I'm on some kind of blue-based tempo deck, not a Teamer janky combo deck. Ooh, white. So they could have removal for this Tamiyo. Because this very much could be a Swords to Plowshares. I wouldn't hate a fetch land here. I also wouldn't hate if they just fired off Swords to Plowshares right there. And honestly, I don't have to flip this Tamiyo right now. I can play it slow and wait for them to make the first move. Okay, opponent still isn't currently doing anything. This looks like it might be some kind of land strategy. Okay, with the Force of Will backup, I think I'm willing to try to flip Tamiyo now. Or they're just going to Swords it now. Do you have another Swords to try to go over the top of this? No. Oh, it's fucking Nadu. Okay. If they're willing to fight this hard over it, then we're going to flip it. Oh, I actually fucked up. I meant to force the other one. Oh well. We're still left with this, and they're down some resources. So I actually screwed that pile up pretty hard. I was trying to big brain it, and I fucked up. So we know we're up against Nadu Breakfast, then. Is this a Nadu? It's a Nomad. Do they have the full combo? It looks like they do. I know this isn't going to reveal anything relevant here. Yeah, Zoanthorpe. Okay, we're just going to see what their deck looks like here. I was going to always yield to these, let them kind of blaze through it. I just want to see what their deck looks like. Like, we are 100% dead here, but we're just going to see what the deck looks like. See if there's anything spicy in here. They got Teferi. They do, in fact, have Nadu. And our opponent's passing the turn? Why is our opponent passing the turn? That makes absolutely no sense. Okay. Is there some reason why they wouldn't have just gone for it? Do they have the Thoracle in hand? Is that the problem? I'm very confused here. I could try to blow up the Illusionist, but if they have Thoracle... Well, no, if they have Thoracle in hand, they just die. I mean, yeah, I guess we try to just do it, like... But they can go until they have one card in hand. I could also play Food Chain, get rid of Tamiyo. I think... problem is it shows them what we're doing if we do that. And they'll know what to bring in sideboard-wise. Like, we could try to Food Chain, sack the Tamiyo, play Ampharaptor, sack the Ampharaptor, and then maybe do something. Depending on what we hit off of the Ampharaptor. I can Zoanthorpe to get rid of one of these things. And then I'm just dead. It's just really weird they didn't go for it. I also could just say fuck it and we just wait, try to draw something off of this clue. It might actually be best just to try to draw something off the clue now and see what we hit. We hit a Hedge Maze. That's a Mist Hollow Griffin. I guess we'll put that on top and see what happens. Like, it's just really weird they didn't go for it. Like, I'm probably overthinking this and I'm just dead, but the fact that they didn't go for it is what, like, confuses me. Alright, now they're going again. Like, I don't understand why they didn't go for it. I am so very confused about what the hell is going on over there. And we do theoretically have a kill next turn if they don't have interaction and we get a next turn. Like, I'm just so confused why they didn't go for it last turn. And now they're going back to it again. I am just so confused. I still haven't seen the Thoracle yet. They have Memory's Journey to restart their pile if they think they need to. Their brain... What the hell is our opponent doing? I am so very confused about what's going on over there. Like, if we get a chance to untap, we have a shot at winning. But I don't understand what they're doing. Okay. I am still so very confused. So, like, this should still work. Especially if I hit a land? Well, no, I need to hit a land. Which I know I'm getting... Okay. I am just so confused about what the hell is going on over there. So, I mean, I can try drawing a card again and see if I hit something. I can Zoanthorpe to try to get rid of a creature and try to screw things up for them. Like, I'm just so confused what the hell is going on over there. Like, so incredibly confused. Like, I'm sure there's a much easier solution here. I also could try to just Ampharaptor and see what the hell I hit. I could try drawing a card and then Ampharaptor and see what I hit. But I am just so confused what's going on over there. I think that's just what we're going to do. We're going to draw a card. Hopefully we hit a Force of Will. We probably won't, but... Oh, we hit Force of Will. Okay. And I guess we're going to play an Ampharaptor and see what we hit? Like, I am just so incredibly confused what the hell is going on over there. Yeah, we can cast Attune the Narrative. That's fine. That draws us another card, and this sets up Food Chain for next turn. And we hit a land. Okay, so if I counter the Thoracle, they can shuffle it back in. I don't know. I'm still just so confused, but I am set up to be able to go off next turn and win. Okay. 2 cards left. Okay, there's Thassa's Oracle. If I counter this, they Dread Return it back. I mean, I guess we go for it. See if they actually do it or if they shuffle shit back into their library. Because they can just Dread Return it back. Another Nomad, okay. Do they see the Dread Return line, or are they going to Memory's Journey and give me a shot here? Okay, they are going to Dread Return. Yeah, that's the game. Okay, that was some very strange lines from the opponent. That being said, we are bringing in Ghost Vacuum, bringing in Pyroblast, bringing in Endurance. I think we're taking out Tamiyo Tune the Narrative, bring in the Consign to Memories, and then take out the Force of Wills? And let's try something like that. Okay, I like Pyroblast. I don't mind the rest of this hand. I think we're going to go ahead and keep this. Probably going to lead on Thundering Falls. Opponent kept on 7 as well. So yeah, we're just gonna go fetch. Then we're gonna grab a Thundering Falls, and then we'll play another fetch land, and then we'll probably go grab the Hedge Maze after we brainstorm, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Alright, opponent played a Misty, pass the turn, we're cracking our Scalding Tarn, grabbing our Thundering Falls. Just have the Hedge Maze on top, so I think we're gonna keep that. And we're gonna go ahead and brainstorm here. Uro, Amped Raptor, and a shitload of lands. Let's put back the redundant food chain and the Hedge Maze, and just play another Scalding Tarn. I think our plan is kind of just to always play 1 mana off curve at this point. So depending on what our opponent does, we will go ahead and just go fetch that Hedge Maze that we just put back, shuffle the library, and then probably play Amped Raptor. Or no, we need another red land to be able to hold a Pyroblast. So maybe we'll actually just go grab a, whatchamacallit, Volcanic Island. Opponent plays a Cavern of Souls, puts it on Wizards. A Pyroblast will only work on an incomplete pile, because I can't counter the Thoracle coming down. I have to blow it up and hope that they don't have enough devotion for it to matter. But against this deck, that's very rare. And then, okay, there's Shuko. Alright, and we are going to go ahead and fetch to clear. We will go grab... Let's actually just grab a Taiga. We'll round out our colors so we have all 3. Questing Druid. Play the Misty. Play out Amped Raptor. Get something on the board to start trying to pressure them a little bit. What do we hit off the Amped Raptor? Something castable, hopefully. Ghost Vacuum. Yes, please. Okay, Ghost Vacuum is in. And then this is a Nadu. Okay, they can have the Nadu. They're going to trigger it. And then before they get this first flip, we're going to try to blow it up. Grab a Valk. Destroy target permanent if it's blue. They are going to get a draw off of this one. They drew a Swords to Plowshares. They do have a Force of Will. Okay. But they can't do anything too crazy here yet. And then we might be able to just play and cast Uro, actually. You already targeted it twice. Mine counted. We are going to go ahead and eat that Thassa's Oracle. Okay, so I think there's a world where I can make this all work. Especially with a fetch land. So what we're going to do is we are going to cast Food Chain. If they have another Force of Will, this kind of sucks. But, okay, they don't. Okay, so I can exile for green. So let's exile this for green. Cast Questing Druid. Exile Questing Druid for blue. Play Uro. I think I'm potentially 1 mana short here. It's going to depend on what I draw. I would like another land. Mist Hollow Griffin, okay. I can't exile this yet, because I won't be able to actually do it. I've only got 4 mana, because I can cast Mist Hollow Griffin, get infinite mana, but then this is gone. So I think we need to let it go and pass the turn. And then we need to go grab the Hedge Maze. Yep. Alright, hitting lands off of the first one. Okay, so this is annoying as hell now. Hit another land. Luckily, I don't think... Like, it's basically we just gotta dodge them drawing Force of Wills, is really what it comes down to. Okay, so this is the play pattern that I really don't like, and why I think Nadu needs to be banned. Like, this isn't definitive, but it's just so much fucking card advantage. The chances of actually getting anything through here are slim to none now, because they're drawing a minimum of 6 cards per turn, and now they can just play another fucking Nadu, and it resets all of these fucking triggers. I mean, we're just gonna yield until next end step, but, like, this is why I don't like Nadu. This is why I think it needs to leave the format. It's not that it's too powerful, it's that it leads to situations like this, where, like, the game is essentially fucking over, But it's not at the same time. They're probably going to bounce the food chain. Honestly, my time is more valuable than just sitting through this, so I'm going to go... Oh, they bounced the Ghost Vacuum. I will see what happens here. Like, we'll get our Surveil land, let them draw a fuckload of cards, and then just see if we can go off. And somehow get through this, because they're going to draw 6 more cards next turn. And we just basically have to hope that they don't have it, is really what it comes down to. Endurance doesn't do anything. We can bin that. But, like, if they have a Force of Will for this Mist Hollow Griffin, we're probably just fucked. I'm gonna see if I can bait it out with the Ghost Vacuum first. The problem is we also don't really have an actual fucking payoff here. Unless we draw one. Like, we can Mist Hollow Griffin a bunch of times to make a shitload of mana. But I don't know, we'll see. The fact that they bounced the Ghost Vacuum is the only reason why I'm continuing right now. And we do know they have a blue card, so if they do have blue card Force of Will... Alright, Orum's Chant. If they hit a white land off of their next 2 triggers... Yep, we're just gonna scoop it up here. This isn't worth my time. These are the play patterns why I think this card needs to be banned. I know some people don't, and I'm not normally an advocate for play pattern or unfun card bannings, but this play pattern with Nadu is just fucking obnoxious. So hopefully it'll be gone on Monday when this video is going to go live. So hopefully by the time you see this, Nadu is not in the fucking format anymore. But alright, on to the next one. Okay, this is decent. We're going to keep it. We have a lot of selection. We have a payoff spell. Got Tattle on the shoulder for good luck. Get her in frame a little bit more. Tattle. Good girl. Hey, girly. There's a little bit of tension with this hand because of the fact that I only have 1 fetch land, and I like to brainstorm before fetching, but I also would like to lead off on the fetch land and grab a Thundering Fall so that I have access to red mana on turn 2. I could also just Snow-Covered Island, brainstorm on their end step, and then that gives me more information for what land I want to play turn 2, and I still have access to red mana on turn 2 for Unstable Amulet. Alright, opponent starts off with a Undercity Sewers, so this could be Doomsday, this could be Re-Froginator, this could just be a blue-black tempo deck. We will see. Oh, well, that still could be Doomsday. This could also be Storm now. In which case, I am absolutely loving how combo-heavy this league has been so far. I think we are just going to go ahead and start off with our Brainstorm. We can Emergency Brainstorm, see what our opponent's doing. The fact that they bin to Dark Ritual makes me think they probably already have one in hand. This could be Esper Doomsday? You don't normally see Flooded Strand in any of the normal Dark Ritual decks that have Undercity Sewer. Cabal Ritual. I think we're going to go ahead and brainstorm here. None of these particularly help me, but Mist Hollow Griffin does in the future. So I think we're going to put this stuff back. If this is just a Doomsday pass pile, it doesn't look like it. I'm not sure why they would keep up black mana unless they want to Thoughtseize me? I'm very confused by why they did double Cabal Ritual, unless this is like a repeat of that last deck we saw in round 2, in which case, did that deck put up a result somewhere? Because I've literally never seen it before, and if this is that and we face it twice in the same league, that's kind of crazy. The nice part is depending on what we do, we could, if they just pass, we can either try to leave up the Galvanic Discharge for a incomplete pile, which I don't think they would do, or we can shuffle the deck, play Unstable Amulet or Icefang Quaddle to try to draw into a Force of Will to go with this Mist Hollow Griffin. But we'll see. The fact that they're leaving up 1 black mana is just screaming that they also have a Thoughtseize, but I feel like they would have Thoughtseized prior to going off with Doomsday. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Alright. No, this is a pretty typical Doomsday list. 1 force is gone, 2 forces, 3 forces. So there's a Force of Will either in their hand or in their pile. There are spoils of the Vault version, multiple spoils actually. But this looks like it's pretty all in on the Doomsday plan here. Okay. So there's either a Force of Will in their hand or there is a Force of Will somewhere in this pile. So the question is, do we think that Ice Fang Coatl or Unstable Amulet is going to be better here? I think we want an Unstable Amulet. Grab that. Try Unstable Amulet. This might get forced. It resolves. And then we pass the turn, and I guess we see what happens here. We're kind of just hoping that we can nab a Force of Will off of this. Or they just randomly have, like, a pass pile and we get another draw to try to find something. They're brainstorming. I didn't see LEDs or considers. So, okay, they put a fetch land into their pile, which means there's a land left. And they're gonna Thassa's Oracle. I guess we just hope we had a Force of Will? Force? Tune the narrative. Okay. Okay, up against another Doomsday deck, but this is a more traditional Turbo Doomsday deck. We're gonna do what we did last time. Bring in Pyroblast, Endurance, Consign to Memory. Take out the creature removal. And Tamiyo is just gonna be way too slow. And try something like that. Okay. Let's see if we can fend off the Doomsday player this time. No access to red mana here, so I think we gotta ship this one. Against my better judgment, I think we're gonna keep this. Like, we've got a payoff spell, but I think we can find better payoffs. Let's put that back. I'd like to keep the Uro, because we're actually in a position where we can cast it. And that's a good way to pressure a Doomsday opponent. And this is a pretty easy grab a Hedge Maze off of this. Our opponent's also mulliganing super deep. They're already to 4. Alright, opponent kept on 4. But luckily this is a pretty easy just grab a Hedge Maze off of this Wooded Foothills. Since I need access to blue mana for this Uro and this Mist Hologriffin. Opponent starts off with a Flooded Strand into a Lotus Petal. Into an Island. Okay, into Personal Tutor, so they're setting up to Doomsday next turn, probably? So I'm guessing that means they have a Dark Ritual in hand. The question just becomes, what do they have in addition to that currently? I don't think I want to tune the narrative right now. We draw Brainstorm. I don't hate that. I want to play this Amped Raptor, but I think we're going to hold up Brainstorm to try to find a Force of Will. Or a Pyroblast or something to try to stop this. Because, like, if one of those two cards is a cantrip, so, like, if it's Dark Ritual cantrip, they can get their chain going. Alright, opponent seems to just be passing the turn. So maybe they don't have the Dark Ritual, and they just wanted to have that in hand to be safe. Okay, we can put back the 2 Unstable Amulets. That actually is probably going to dictate what we do this turn now. The fact that I can play an Unstable Amulet and hold up Brainstorm still, because we can clear this Brainstorm, or we can clear the Brainstorm with Unstable Amulet, get a look at 3 fresh cards. Our opponent's still passing, I like that. Let's clear the Brainstorm and cast another one. Okay, I like Consign to Memory. We can just put back Trop, put back Consign so that we draw the Consign. And then we can play Amped Raptor. Mill or exile past the land. This will also give us more energy to Unstable Amulet again if we want to. Into another Amped Raptor, which is neutral in terms of energy, which gives us the ability to Unstable Amulet again. Or we can just leave the second Unstable Amulet under here, cast it next turn, depending on what we draw. And now we do have pressure for their Doomsday pile. Okay, opponent's going to Thoughtseize, so that probably takes the Consign. Let's Unstable Amulet, see if we can hit a Force of Will. No, we hit a Misty, okay. So they're probably taking the Consign here. They might take the Mist Hologriffin, knowing that it's a combo piece. They did take the Consign, okay. Okay, Dark Ritual into Doomsday. And is their starting card a cantrip is the question. So opponent does follow up with a Dark Ritual into Doomsday. It comes down to, can they start their pile? Is that last card a cantrip? I'm glad we got the fetch land out of the way. They are going to go to 8. All right, and they're making a very quick pile here and passing. They brought in Force of Negation as Echoing Truth. 1, 2, 3 Force of Wills already gone. So the last card might be a Force of Will in hand. It looks like they probably got rid of their Street Race and didn't put them in the pile. Because I see 2 Street Race in the pile already. Edge of Autumn is in their pile for sure. They are a Lion's Eye Diamond build. Okay. Brainstorm is interesting. Let's play Misty. Let's Brainstorm. Double Mist Hollow Griffin, Pyroblast. I like the Pyroblast. Let's put back both of these. Fetch. I think I want another blue land. I'd like to get a Surveil land here to set up what we're going to be able to see. But I think I need double red open. Well, Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab the Volcanic. And then we are going to go ahead and cast Uro to get 1 deeper. And then we're holding up Pyroblast. I should have seen how many dazes they had. 1 daze, so there's a possibility of multiple. Okay, that gives us some more mana, but it doesn't really actually do anything here. I guess we're going to have to see if a single Pyroblast is enough to get us through this, but I have a feeling they have at least 1 counter. This does get around Daze. It does not get around Force of Will. Alright, there's Edge of Autumn. Edge of Autumn. Okay, so they can't Daze us. Into a Thassa's Oracle. Counter target spell if it's blue. I think this should get us the game here, because they've only got 2 cards left. Alright, yeah. Okay, cool. Got game 2. Going into a game 3. Do I want to change anything here? I don't think I do. There's something to be said about possibly bringing in the Veil of Summers to try to force some of our stuff through, but I'm not super sure what we would take out for that. Maybe we'll take out a Brazen Borrower. Bring in 1 Veil. Maybe we take out the second Uro, bring the other Veil in, and try something like that. Okay, I like this hand. We will keep this. It's a little sketchy as a 1-lander, but being on the draw, it's better. And we have both Endurance and Force of Will to try to stop what's going on. We will keep this. Opponent kept on 7 as well this time. We're not locking out to a crazy deep mulligan again. Lotus Petal, okay. I wouldn't hate if they just went all in on a Doomsday on turn 1. Vexing Bauble, unfortunately, we have to counter that. So now we only have 1 layer of protection left. And they're setting up to Doomsday. Okay. Hopefully this Endurance will do something. I wouldn't hate just more lands. I wouldn't hate... Okay, we drew another Force of Will. I like that. I feel much better about where we're at now. We will probably go grab our Hedge Maze, since all of our cards are green. Cabal Ritual. Okay. I think we let this go. They've only got 1 card in hand, so they can't start their pile to be able to go off this turn. And we have 2 layers of protection against whatever they could be doing here. So I think we just play... I mean, this is kind of risky, but it's also playing it safe. If we counter the Doomsday, it could get dazed, and we're down a source of interaction. And this is risky, but also the better line that leaves us with 2 forms of interaction next turn when they undoubtedly try to go off. So let's look at this pile here. Okay, I see 0 Force of Wills. So are they just going to keep a very, very slow past the turn, multiple turns pile to just amass Force of Wills? Because both Street Wraiths are in here. Lion's Eye Diamond is in here. I see 0 Force of Wills in this pile. So they might have just kept an extremely slow pile to try to fight through as much counter magic and interaction as possible. I mean, we'll keep that and hope that this Brainstorm finds us a land. It finds us a blue card, which gives us another form of interaction. So, I mean, we put these back, play the Snow-Covered Island, and then pass the turn, and this gives us 3 layers of interaction for when they try to go off. And then we're drawing the whatchamacallit? Sheldock Isle is spicy. And now the Veil gives us even more protection. Because we're just going to draw the Veil, and then we're going to pass the turn. Like, we are basically on the stop them from winning plan. We are not trying to win the game ourselves. Okay, I mean, Cavern of Souls is fine-ish, I guess. Is playing Spelldock Isle. Okay. What is the card? Oh, it's Emrakul. I can honestly say I was not expecting an Emrakul. We're gonna go ahead and cast this with... Problem is I don't know how to stop this Emrakul if they get to untap. So we stop their extra turn, but we know we have a Pyroblast. I don't think this is gonna win it for us. Because they get 2 attacks with Emrakul. Okay, that was definitely not something I was expecting at all. Yeah. Okay. I guess we just pass the turn and hope that they try to do something crazy here. Annihilator 6. Okay. We will cast those, sacrifice them, and flash in an Icefang Coatl to block. This might save us. Draw a card off Icefang Coatl, because this can... Well, it can't block next turn, but it blocks this turn and buys us a turn. Okay. Unfortunately, this only shuffles 1 card into their graveyard, but we're gonna see if we can get them to cast something in response. We're kind of just hoping that they mess up here. And no, they're gonna let it go. Okay, wow, that was a really cool juke. Good game, opponent. Doomsday with Emrakul. Okay, seeing 2 really funky Doomsday variants. I like it. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, final round. Positive record is on the line. Lost the die roll. I think we're gonna keep this. Hope our opponent's on something a little slower, but we will see. Alright, something blue to start out. I think we're just going to lead off on Scalding Tarn Pass. Yeah, with Uro, we're going to lead off on Scalding Tarn Pass, go grab Hedge Maze, and then probably try to play Unstable Amulet next turn. Oh boy, we're up against Re-Froginator. Which means we're probably seeing a pretty fast Trollakaza Doom getting reanimated here. We do have... Oh, it's an Animate Dead. Okay, we do have whatchamacallit. Brazen Borrower to be able to bounce it. But we're going to have to worry about counter magic pretty heavily in this matchup, which means we're probably playing off curve quite a bit. Grab our Hedge Maze. Icefang Coatl. I don't hate that. We'll keep it. It gives us something to flash in, but the opponent has such a fast clock here that I don't know if it's going to matter. This also does allow us to kind of like start going off with Food Chain, because we can take 3 troll hits before we're dead. So this gives us a few turns to figure out what's going on here. An opponent plays a Psychic Frog. I cannot wait for this stupid card to go. I played with it last week, and even playing with it, it is clearly too much for Legacy. We're going to go ahead and go grab a Volcanic, and then flash in Icefang Coatl. See if this eats a counter at all. It does not. Okay. We get another Food Chain. Okay, I like Force of Will quite a bit. Let's play Thundering Falls. A land, does that let me start going off next turn? Yes, so we will put that on top. And let's play the Unstable Amulet, see if this gets through. Going to daze that, okay. We're in a little bit of a weird spot, but we're going to see what we can do here. Kept whatever it was on top. They're getting in. Do I want to block with the Icefang Coatl is the question. I know I'm getting a land. I think I have to, unfortunately. Into another Psychic Frog. I think we're going to counter that. We're going to try to play Uro next turn to hopefully buy us a turn to start being able to go off. This gets around to days. If they have a force, then we're just dead. And they do. Okay, on to the next one. I cannot wait to see this. deck just eat a ban. Honestly, I could see both of these cards going, and honestly would love to. The more I think about the Trollakaza Doom, the more I think it needs to go, because it enables this deck to operate way, way too smooth. But if you want to hear my opinions on that, go check out my banned and restricted thoughts video from earlier. Against our opponent, bring in Vacuums, Endurance, Carpet of Flowers, Veil, Pyroblast, and Brazen Borrower. Take out Force of Wills, Tameo and Tune the Narrative, and honestly, probably trim Icefang Coatl. I think we're going to cut the Zoanthrope. I don't think that's the win count we're going to go for. We're probably just going to stick with Unstable Amulet. Let's try something like that. Okay, so we have some decent stuff here. We're going to keep this. We're going to lead off on the basic into Ghost Vacuum. So, basic mountain into Ghost Vacuum. If they want to counter, this is going to take 2 cards. They don't counter it. Okay, next turn, we're probably just going to slam Amped Raptor unless we draw something better to do. Alright, opponent is just passing the turn with an island. We draw Food Chain. I think we're just going to stay the course here and just try to slam Amped Raptor. If it gets dazed, I don't super care. Okay, that eats a counter. That's one less counter to have to worry about for Food Chain. Alright, and they didn't have to follow up Brainstorm. They just passed the turn. Alright, we are going to eat stuff out of their graveyard as we go. I like Pyroblast. Brainstorm, I don't hate that. We can put that on top of the library. And then we will plan on Seeking the Beast on their end step. Unless they play a Psychic Frog, in which case we might try to kill that first. Or I might still Seek the Beast and try to blow up the Psychic Frog on our turn. Yeah, I actually think I like that better. So that if they have a counter, it's incentivized to go after this Seek the Beast. Okay, that is fine. That's 2 cards out of hand. End of their turn. We're going to eat the Force of Will. And now this allows me to blow up the frog. Unless I have another Force of Will. Force of Negation. Okay. I guess we're going to Brainstorm. Hope we find something. Another Brainstorm and an Amped Raptor. I think we put back. I could try to Brainstorm to dig 1 deeper, but I don't think we're going to. Play our land. Fetch out a Trop. And try to Brainstorm again, hoping to find another Pyroblast. Amped Raptor, Food Chain. Let's put them back in this order. And then I guess we just pass the turn. We're going to try to slam Amped Raptor, and then we're just going to go ahead and Food Chain. We have gotten quite a few counters out of their hand, though. But this stupid frog is going to start doing stuff. Wasteland, okay. I cannot wait for this stupid fucking card to lead the format. Like, this better eat a ban on Monday. If it doesn't, I'm legitimately going to be pissed. Okay, goes after the Trop. That's fine. We get the Amped Raptor. We know the next card is a Food Chain. So I think we want to shuffle it away. Go grab another green source. Cast Amped Raptor. Hopefully we hit something good here. Galvanic Discharge does force them to chuck cards if they want to save this frog. Alright, they're not chucking cards to it. So we bank a little bit of energy in the process. And then I think in their upkeep we're going to eat the frog so that they can't just reanimate it. Yeah, in their upkeep, eat the frog so they can't just reanimate it. Unfortunately, this does leave open if they want to discard something else and reanimate it if they have a fatty in hand. Okay, they're just going to exile it to frog to jump it. That's also mostly fine. Drawn a card. Another land. Barrogoyf. Okay. So they probably went strictly onto the reanimate style plan. So, like, we have an answer for this Barrogoyf. Or we have an answer for the frog. And I think the frog is a bigger threat here. And I have enough energy to be able to just straight up kill it. So eat the frog. And then we're just kind of in a position where we are chump blocking this Barrogoyf for the time being. And again, upkeep, we're going to eat the frog. And we're going to hope we start hitting some of our more value-y shit here to be able to... Okay, well, I guess they're going to refuel their graveyard. Ugh. Yeah, this deck 100% needs to be knocked down a peg. The only thing keeping it in check is Vexing Bauble out of the Mystic Forge decks. So they 100%... And they put that back in hand. They don't have the mana to be able to cast it. If they have a fetch land, they do. And they have a... Wait, how did they eat my Questing Druid? Oh, they reanimated my Questing Druid. I'm like, what the fuck? Into another Mist Hollow Griffin. Yeah, this one's over. This deck needs to be knocked down a peg. Because if they do end up banning Vexing Bauble, this is just going to go right back to being the best deck of the format, which honestly it pretty much already is. But it's going to have no competition at that point. So this deck needs probably 2 cards banned from it. But we'll see what happens on Monday. Like, there was some pretty tight gameplay there, but it's just, this deck honestly just does way, way too much, way too efficiently. But, oh well, we'll address that in the wrap-up. Okay, so let's start off by saying that by the time you see this, the banned and restricted announcement should have happened, and hopefully Frog and Bauble at the very least are out of the format, hopefully a few other cards. So how dominated we were by that Frog deck hopefully won't be a factor going forward. And I will say, it was a little disappointing we didn't get to see the deck do the thing in the video. I did play with it a bunch in the practice rooms to learn the lines, and honestly, I just had a blast playing it, so I was just playing it for fun, for the hell of it. And it actually was able to do the combo pretty consistently, and it was pretty spectacular when it did go off. Even if you weren't going for the win, it was able to just, like, cast an Uro, escape it on the same turn, cast a bunch of creatures for value, and chain a bunch of shit together. It was a really cool deck. I actually really like the energy sub-theme in this deck. It doesn't feel as combo-y and snowball-y as the Boros energy deck that's running around right now. It was a much more value, fair feeling energy package in it. The one thing I will say is that overall the deck does feel kind of weak to combo. Only having the 4 Force of Will's main deck and no other real counterspells on the sideboard did make it so that, especially up against super fast decks like Oops All Spells and Doomsday and Storm, you were basically just mulliganing for a Force of Will to try to stop your opponent's first attempt at going off and then hope they aren't able to rebuild before you can do your thing. So I would probably add a few more counters to the sideboard, whether it's in the form of something like Flusterstorm or Force of Negation, something like that. I'd probably trim the Carpet of Flowers and the second Brazen Borrower to make room for it. But that's really the only change I would make to the deck. The deck's well constructed. It works well. Overall, the video wasn't a real good showing of what the deck can do, unfortunately, but I think that was honestly mostly too bad running. We flooded out a few games, and then we just got absolutely stomped by the tier 0 deck in the format in that last round. But again, by the time you see this, hopefully Frog is no longer a part of this format. But yeah, the deck was a blast. Honestly, I'll probably keep playing it just for fun. I seriously would consider building this in paper just because it's a fun deck if it weren't for the fact that it's got 5 dual lands and 4 of them are blue. But that being said, deck was a ton of fun. I would recommend it if you want to bring just like a fun off-meta deck to like an FNM or something and have a good time and do some kind of cool things with it. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all had fun. I'll catch you all in the next video. And as always, stay salty. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like and sub button below. There are free ways to support the channel. And drop a comment, let me know what you like. Any kind of feedback you got, your opinions on my gameplay, the decks that I play, any of that kind of stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and drop by the Patreon. Become a patron, get to read some of my tournament reports and some stuff going on outside of just Magic in my life that I'm going to start putting over there as kind of my own personal blog. Also, you can do donation deck lists over there, just the price of a league if you have a specific deck you want to see, or you have an idea you want me to brew around, something like that, go ahead and do that. Nothing is required. It's always appreciated, though. Any donations go directly back into the channel, covering stuff such as leagues for donation decks or the rental program that I'm a part of. I am a small-time YouTuber. I'm doing this for fun. I really hope you all like what you saw. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, stay salty.